So this year, G.I. Joe is coming out in a couple different forms. We've got a new movie coming out from Paramount Pictures, which is slated for this August. Hasbro, who's the creator of the G.I. Joe brand and has over 45 years of history, is bringing a new toy line, which will hit around July. And then EA, working closely with Hasbro and Paramount, are really proud to bring the new G.I. Joe, the Rise of Cobra, the video game, around the same time as the film. So we actually let people get excited by seeing the film. Then you can go pick up our game, which actually takes place right after the film, tells a unique storyline written just for the game. It does tie back to key moments in the film, but it also lets us leverage the larger G.I. Joe universe, whether it's toys, vehicles, characters, comic book stories, cartoon stories, things you're not going to see in the film, but you're going to get into our game, one sort of giant universe of G.I. Joe. The way we've set up the gameplay mechanic for G.I. Joe is it's designed to be a two-player co-op single screen game. You know, G.I. Joe is never really about one Joe. You know, it's always about a team. So we really wanted to let people feel like you and a buddy get to pick two G.I. Joes. You're kind of going through the levels. You're blasting away at the Cobras. You know, you're just having a lot of fun. The style of game also is kind of more like your classic arcade shooter from yesteryear, but we're sort of bringing it up to sort of modern next-gen sensibilities. One thing we did with the control scheme is we made it really scalable. So literally knowing two buttons, move and shoot, you know, kind of like the classic arcade shooters, you can get through the entire game. But you're not going to hold back your other player. It's going to be easy for both players to get into the game at different skill sets. Obviously, we know gamers want more than two buttons, so you know we have other things like evasive moves, we have melee, we have a charged up melee, we have strafing, there's a cover system in the game, you can bound to cover, you can flip over cover, you can actively target your enemies, otherwise, you know, we have the game sort of sets up and just targets one after the other automatically, but you can certainly target whoever you want. So we have a lot of these other things that layer on top of what's actually pretty simple, easy to play controls. The other thing that's really great about G.I. Joe, again, there's just so many characters in the universe. So we have over 12 playable characters in the game. Actually, it breaks down 12 G.I. Joe playable characters, and now actually today here at GDC, we're actually announcing that there's also 4 unlockable Cobra characters that you'll actually get to play. We're not really saying too much about all those Cobras, but one thing for sure is you will get to play as Storm Shadow. As far as other characters on the Joe side, certainly Snake Eyes, Duke, Ripcord, Heavy Duty, Scarlet, Gung Ho. You know, these will definitely be in the game. We also have several others that we're not announcing yet. The general gameplay across all the platforms is basically the same. However, on the Nintendo DS version, we actually built a new game from the ground up. It's a single-player game, over 20 missions, very robust, mission-based, a lot of fun. We also have a pretty robust multiplayer mode in the game, which is unique to the DS SKU. Basically allows you to do up to 4 DSs connected together. 2 people can be on the Joe team, 2 can be on the Cobra team. We've got 3 different multiplayer modes. You know, we have something that's called Joe versus Cobra. It's kind of like you know, kind of a death match, although it's not really phrased a death match. But then we also have something like a capture the flag variant, and then we have something called defend the base, where you're actually either on the offense or defense, and you're trying to sneak into the other person's base and kind of deactivate it. It's really fun. So 4 different multiplayer maps, 3 different multiplayer modes. You know, so it really feels like, you know, this unique game for the DS. Really great. So, you know, to be honest, it's like 2 different really solid G.I. Joe games for the fans. So again, you know, we're coming out this summer in time for the film. We're on all different platforms. You know, with the new movie coming, the new toy line, and the game, there's just a lot of great G.I. Joe stuff. It's going to be an awesome summer.